stupid AC started making a funny noise Friday night, so I had to put up with it all weekend before I could call you Monday morning.
Why didn't you call on Saturday or Sunday?
What? And leave a message for who knows when?
We answer the phone all weekend, and we can have a crew dispatched right away.
You can?
We have expert crews on call all weekend long, and if they're on call, they'd actually like to work.
You mean I could have called on Friday and had it fixed on Saturday?
Or called on Sunday and had it fixed on Sunday.
For the same price as always?
Same as Monday to Friday. We have the same world-class service at the same prices 7 days a week.
Really?
If you call on the weekend, your problem gets fixed on the weekend.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark.
You just can't simulate this any day of coming out in training camp, scrimmaging against your own guys. Just can't simulate the work. Was really appreciative of Tampa and Todd and the way they worked with us to get this thing organized.
Hacker After Dark.
It was physical. I mean, it was a good physical practice. Obviously, got to go watch the tape. There's a ton to clean up. I was pleased with the way they started faster. Had a little dips and lulls that you just get frustrated with. But like I told them, it's kind of how football games are. There's ebbs and flows. How do we handle them? How do we respond to them? But I was really appreciative of the work.
Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Liam Cohen following practice earlier today, the joint session with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was some good, little bit of bad, but I thought all in all a pretty good day for your hometown Jacksonville Jaguars. They will be right back out there tomorrow with Tampa Bay at the Miller Electric Center in what is basically the final practice of training camp. They will then have a day off on Thursday, the final preseason game on Friday, and then the Turk is coming. The Jaguars, like every other NFL team, have to go from 90 down to 53 by Sunday evening. So there is going to be a lot of movement around the National Football League over the next 4 to 5 days. And with that, a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Jared Justice. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. Again, a ton of conversation about the Jaguar and the Buccaneer joint practice. I was down there earlier today. Got a lot of thoughts. Got a chance to catch up with former Florida Gator, current Jacksonville Jaguar linebacker Amari Burney. You will hear that conversation coming up this evening. Also, my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will stop by. We'll also talk a little college football as well. The college football season begins in 4 days. 4 days away from a dozen or so games being played, including Bill Belichick in North Carolina. They play on Saturday. Yeah, against TCU. Was it Virginia and NC State, I believe, and an ACC tilt? And then Florida State is also on the field as they are a 31.5-point favorite over New Mexico State. We'll talk a little college football, but we'll talk a little Gator college football with former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. Again, Aaron Philo officially named the starting quarterback for the University of Florida. So we'll get Ben Troop's thoughts on that coming up later on tonight here on Hacker After Dark. So a busy day. I just left Little Hack's school. Jared, it was parent night. Got all the information, all the dirt on what Little Hack has been doing over the last 10 days. And I texted you on the way there. I was kind of sweating bullets. Please let him be behaving in there. That the one thing I don't want is to go in there and the teacher's like, oh, he's horrible. He's the worst kid imaginable. No, glowing review of Little Hack getting after it in first grade. Glowing review. Very proud father right now. The one thing I did think was funny is the teacher kind of pulled me over to the corner. She's like, I know what you do, but I just wanted to let you know, love Little Hack, but he does tend to talk a lot. And I said, well, I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, he is, it's genetics, DNA. I mean, the kid's going to talk. I mean, his father is on 1010XL. It's literally what I do for a living. The kid is going to talk. And she was laughing about it. So apparently he's a talker. And if that's the worst thing he's doing in first grade, I think we're all right. But pretty happy with the review I got, and I'm happy to be here with you guys until 10 o'clock here on Hacker After Dark. Got a lot of thoughts on the Jags Bucs. Let's get to that right now, because every night here on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Jared Justice, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
You know, it's interesting. We spend so much time. I know I do. I imagine every other show here on 1010XL. And we're breaking down Trevor Lawrence, and we're breaking down, you know, Parker Washington and the passing game, and how are they going to replace ETN at running back, and, you know, the offensive line, and how is that going to come together? Cole Van Lannon coming off PUP, and then defensively, who's going to win that job between Ventrell Miller and Branson Combs? How's Travis Hunter going to translate to defense? Who is the third edge rusher, right, that's going to emerge behind Hines Allen and Walker? Is it B.J. Green? Is it Danny Strigow? I mean, you know the gamut, right? We've talked about all of it over the last weeks and months of this offseason. I think that at least I'm guilty of this from time to time, of maybe taking one of the Jaguar players for granted a little bit. And truthfully, maybe we expect too much out of this guy, because I tend to criticize him probably more than I praise him. But today at the Miller Electric Center, Joshua Hines Allen was a man among boys. He was dominant. It started in one-on-one pass blocking drills. You had the Buccaneer O-line. You had the Jaguar D-line. And Hines Allen, I don't know. I think it was like literally, like, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Luke Goki, they're one of their starting tackles. Hines Allen hip tossed him like he wasn't there. It was unbelievably impressive. And then Hines Allen continued in the 11-on-11, getting massive pressure on Baker Mayfield. If they were allowed to hit the quarterback, Joshua Hines Allen would have multiple sacks today. He was awesome. And not to say that he hasn't had a good offseason or a good camp, but truthfully, and I found myself thinking about this being out there, maybe I take Joshua Hines Allen for granted. He is one of the premier pass rushers in the league. You ask any of his peers in the NFL, they're going to rate him very high among edge rushers. But goodness gracious, man, today he was outstanding. One of the best practices that I've seen him have in a long, long time. And they need him. They need pass rush. They need to affect the quarterback. Tampa Bay had trouble with him today, and that's putting it mildly. In fact, the entire Jaguar defense, I thought, had a really good day. Buster Brown with an interception off a deflection. Antonio Johnson with a pick as well. I think there was a flag for, like, illegal contact completely away from Antonio Johnson. Had literally nothing to do with the play. So I'm not sure if you can technically count it in the stat column. but Baker Mayfield threw it right to Antonio Johnson. I'm not really sure what he was doing there. It was a dominant day for the defense. And you say, Hacker, don't be a homer, right? Well, don't take my word for it. It's very easy to find the cut. Maybe we'll pull it up later. Baker Mayfield, in talking to the Tampa Bay media after practice, and I know it's gotten some traction on social media, and I'm paraphrasing here, he basically came out and said they were more physical. If this would have been a game, we probably would not have come out on the right side of it. He said it was a little bit eye-opening. That's the opposing starting quarterback saying that defense was more physical than us. They would have beaten us if this was a real game. You can't get a better compliment as a defense than a Pro Bowler like Baker Mayfield saying that. I mean, that with the white flag, right? I mean, just raising the white flag on this. We lost today is what Baker Mayfield said, at least for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense. Now, defensively, for the Bucs, they got a little fortunate because Brian Thomas Jr. literally on the first 11-on-11 snap that the Jaguar offense had makes a beautiful diving catch in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. But he looks like he landed on his shoulder. And I got to tell you something. It appears he's going to be okay. Liam Cohen was asked about it. And I don't know, Jared, if we have that cut from Liam Cohen being asked about Brian Thomas Jr. I would imagine we probably do, which we'll play that. And again, paraphrasing, but Cohen said he's going to be all right. My initial thought when I saw it, because Brian Thomas Jr. did stay down for a little bit and he hopped up. It was pretty obvious that he was favoring a little bit his arm. In fact, before I get to my thoughts, let's let Liam Cohen, courtesy of our friends at Jaguars.com, literally to start his press conference after practice, he was asked about the Brian Thomas Jr. diving catch and potential injury situation.
I think he's all right. I mean, just came down on his shoulder. I think we'll just hold him out with smart, keep him out, and then get him go for Cleveland.
Yeah, I think he's all right. And that's good enough for me. If the head coach thinks he's all right, then I think he's all right too. But I can tell you my initial concern was the collarbone, right? I mean, how many? We saw it here with Christian Kirk a couple of years ago. You say you land on the shoulder, well, that's best case scenario. Because if you land on that collarbone, I mean, that's minimum 2 months if you're lucky. Maybe longer than that. That was my initial concern. But then Brian Thomas Jr. kept the pads on. He didn't go back in, I don't think, but he kept the pads on, did not go into the locker room, was still on the sideline, talking to trainers, but was still on the sideline. So that was kind of a sigh of relief for Jaguar fans, I think, when it didn't look that bad. And again, Liam Cohen addressed it there. But when you're down Jacoby Myers already and then you lose BTJ after a diving touchdown, well, then all of a sudden, all right, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Now, Parker Washington had a touchdown. I thought Brenton Strange did some nice things. Bashal Tootin and Chris Rodriguez both, I thought, looked good in the running game. Now, Tootin did put the ball on the ground once. And I'll remind people, and I'm really a big fan of Bashal Tootin. I think he's going to have a big year. But when he did fumble today, it is worth reminding people, and I talked to a lot of draft analysts about this last year. Why did Tootin fall to round 4? Because there's a thought he has a fumbling problem. At least he did in college. And if you'll remember, last year at rookie minicamp, Liam Cohen said as much. Basically said Tootin's got to take better care of the ball. And to Tootin's credit, other than I can think of one fumble that he had. Who was that against? The Chargers, maybe? Obviously, it didn't matter because the Jaguars destroyed them. But I think Tootin had one fumble last year, if memory serves, so he did a pretty good job. But when he put that ball on the ground today, I went back down memory lane in the memory banks and did remember that there was at least some concern from draft analysts about fumbling for Tootin. Hopefully, we don't talk about it again. Just something to think about. I don't think the offense for Jacksonville was as dominant as the defense, but I think Jacksonville won the day. And I'll shoot you straight. 2 weeks ago, I was told New Orleans won the day. That's what I went with during their joint. Last week, I thought Jacksonville won hour number 1. I thought Carolina won hour number 2. I think today, Tampa Bay had moments, and they did. They had moments. What I find particularly funny, look, I get it. You want to get your fan base fired up. Did you see the Buccaneer Twitter handle, what they tweeted out? They tweeted out Reuben Bain, their first-round pick, obliterating like our 12th offensive lineman. Right? No offense to my guy, 62 for the Jaguars, but let's be honest. I mean, come on. Now, if that would have been, Anton, or if that would have been Ezra, or if that would have been if Van Lanen were in there, you know what I mean? Somebody like that. All right, but when your first-round pick obliterates the opponent's 12th offensive lineman and your headline is, this defensive line is going to be a problem, you're just looking for stuff to be positive about because there wasn't a lot. I did think Tampa Bay's defensive line in that particular drill, I know Vita Vea drove Robert Hainsey back. Clancy, their former first-rounder, I think beat Monheim on a rep. It wasn't all doom and gloom for Tampa. But again, don't take hacker 1010XL sports radio host's word for it. Take Baker Mayfield's word for it. When Baker Mayfield literally says to the Tampa media, they were more physical than us. They came out with their hair on fire. If this was a game, we probably wouldn't have wound up on the winning side. That's all you need to know about how today's joint practice went. I think it's a good way for the Jaguars to basically end training camp. I know it was the last practice that was open to the public. It was a good crowd down there at the Miller Electric Center. They're back out there tomorrow for what I would imagine will be a far less physical practice. And then that's it. Off Thursday, the game on Friday. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. And what a perfect segue that is. Because Jared Justice, is it my understanding that at 8:17 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night, August the 25th, by the way, happy birthday to my mother, my lovely mother, Mom Hacker, getting after it. Have a very special birthday, Mom. I love you. But 8:17 on Tuesday, August the 25th, Eastern Standard Time, do we have a pair of tickets to give away to Friday night's preseason finale?
That is absolutely correct. We have a pair of tickets to the Jags versus Bucs game Friday, August 28th at 7:30.
Friday, August the 28th, 7:30 down at the stadium. If you want to go to see Jacksonville and Tampa Bay, it's preseason game number 3. We'll make this very simple. Be caller 3 right now at 904-641-1010, 904-641-1010, and Jared Justice will hook you up with a pair of tickets for the Jaguars and the Bucs Friday night at Everbank Stadium, 904-641-1010. We will take caller 3 right now for those pair of tickets. But the game Friday night, and then the cuts are coming. And I'm going to do more of this on Thursday. I did a 53-man pre-training camp roster. I'm going to do my post-training camp 53-man roster. I don't think much has changed. It's going to be interesting to compare and contrast. I can already tell you that I know one guy that I did not have making the team. Check that. 2 guys that I did not have making the team at the end of July, I do believe are going to be on the team now. And that's Amir Abdullah at running back and Zach Durfee at defensive end. Which means I got to take 2 guys off my 53 that I had on at the end of July. So that could be a little difficult. But it will be an interesting exercise. But again, 37 Jaguars will be cut, 16 of which potentially could be brought back to the practice squad. But you want to talk about an active weekend in the National Football League, 1,184 guys will be cut prior to Sunday evening. A lot of those guys will find their way on practice squads. Some guys will find their way back on the 53-man rosters elsewhere. But 1,184 players, 37 players on all 32 teams will be released at some point. And I would imagine those cuts would start coming in Saturday morning. So Saturday and Sunday will be very, very active in the National Football League. More on the Jaguars and the Bucs. Again, joint practice number 1 in the books. Joint practice number 2 coming up tomorrow down at the Miller Electric Center. We will also talk a little college football. As I mentioned, former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop will join me, one of my favorites to talk Gator football with, about John Summerall's decision to go with Aaron Philo as the starting quarterback. Again, we are, 11 days away from John Summerall's era beginning. Florida Atlantic, the Owls of FAU, going into the Swamp a week from Saturday. And, of course, Florida State Seminole fans, you're probably making tailgating plans right now. You play on Saturday. You're part of week 0. 31.5-point favorites are the Seminoles as they welcome in New Mexico State to Doak Campbell Stadium in what should be a tune-up game, in what should be a work the kinks out game as you prepare for both SMU and Alabama in the coming weeks. A lot to do. We're with you till 10 o'clock, Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. Amari Burney, a former Florida Gator, a current Jacksonville Jaguar, a man that led the Jaguars in tackles on Friday night against Carolina, a man that did not play in the NFL last year, a guy that got the call 3 weeks ago, has come in and has been noticeable. We'll talk with Amari Burney next. Hacker After Dark on a Tuesday night in Northeast Florida. And as always, Jacksonville, we're glad you are with us.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Good work, partner.
Kind of like Sonny and Cher.
If you don't mind my saying, I don't like your attitude one bit.
I mean Mick and Keith.
I apologize.
They are The Drill.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Mornings on 1010XL.
I'm sorry, Chili.
25 weeks comes down to this.
You ready?
3 wide under the lights. 0 margin for error. Everything on the line. Flirting with 200 miles per hour in the place where this journey began. Race 26, the final hunt for a spot in the chase. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 weekend at Daytona, August 28th through 29th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate chessman, and, you may be surprised, newfound fan of American football.
Really? You?
Absolutely. Listen to this. Duval!
It's Duval, Chester. Duval.
That's what I said. Duval!
Ball. Ball.
Ball. The point is, Brendan, with football season approaching and friends dropping by your house to watch the games, there's no better time to spiff up your garage with a beautiful, durable, polymer-coated floor.
We can even do it in team colors for the real fans out there.
Oh, that is a good idea.
A garage floor your friends will love?
Check. In a color that makes you proud?
Check. Installed by locals who can actually pronounce Duval?
Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Go!
After the stadium lights go dark, the football conversation gets started.
With Hacker and Trent Osborne.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Did you know if you buy a $6,000 natural diamond pendant at Beard's Diamonds, they'll give you all that money back when you decide to upgrade in the future to a larger diamond?
If you walk out with a natural diamond, a natural tennis bracelet, a natural pair of diamond studs, whether it be 5 minutes, 5 years, 10 years down the road, we will give you exactly what you paid for those items.
That's Ben Lupo, with his father John explaining that as long as you upgrade to a larger size, Beards will pay you exactly what you paid them for the original diamond.
You get exactly what you paid, and you just pay the difference. An example is you bought a $1,000 pair of earrings, and you're looking for something a little bit bigger. The new earrings are $2,000. You pay $1,000 difference.
And you can do it as many times as you like. So with a guarantee like this, anyone can start out small and over the years keep trading up from 1 carat to 3 or 4 or 5 carats.
As the budget grows, we're always going to be there for them.
A 100% natural diamond upgrade guarantee. Just another thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from everyone else. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. Jacksonville's local dealer for 45 years.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Well, I'll tell you, NFL training camps are long. Long. We spend the entire offseason, can't wait for the teams to report, right? And then they report, and that was on July the 28th. So I believe July the 29th was the first training camp practice for the Jaguars. So what is that? That's 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks tomorrow was the first training camp practice. And we're still 19 days away from the Cleveland Browns. So you're talking almost 50 days from reporting to training camp to kicking off the regular season. I mean, it is a battle for these guys. And you talk about the ups and the downs, and I'll get to Amari Burney in a moment. What about the mental anguish of fantasy football players in the last 48 hours? So what was it? Sunday night, Ashton Genty of the Raiders goes down, and everybody starts it's the knee. It looked awful. No weight on it. And everybody's flipping out about Ashton Genty, and by the way, no one saw it. Everybody's just trying to rile each other up. That's why, in large part, social media can be a trash can at times when it comes to football. Turns out it was a sprained ankle. We went from his knee exploded and every ligament destroyed to a sprained ankle for Ashton Genty. So then this afternoon, did you guys see this? And there's at least video of this. Jamar Chase got injured at Bengals practice. Again, another first-round pick in fantasy football. In fact, he went number 2, I think, in the Hacker Fantasy League. I mean, that's a big deal. And there was video of that, and it kind of looks serious. And people are like, oh, that looks really bad. That looks really bad. And I don't know how bad it is or isn't, but I know that afterwards he walked over to Bengals radio and did an interview. So my assumption is that if it was really bad, he wouldn't have done an interview on Bengals radio out of the training camp facility. But just for the fantasy football players out there and the heart palpitations, Genty and Chase, that's 2 that you kind of breathe a huge sigh of relief. Let's just get to the regular season. Wrap all these guys up in bubble wrap at this point. Let's just get to the year, which, by the way, starts 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah. New England, Seattle, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Then, of course, you go to Australia, because nothing says NFL kickoff week like playing a game in Australia between the 49ers and the Rams. And then Sunday, in unison, every other team goes. Obviously, Monday Night Football that week as well. The Jaguars and the Browns. I might say this once per night, because I was down at training camp today, and again, I heard, Hacker, could we get any luckier than getting Cleveland? They're in turmoil. They have no idea what they're doing. What a lucky break to get Cleveland. While I don't disagree with you entirely, here is my nightly stat for you. I will probably say this for the next 19 days until that game. I understand different circumstances. I understand different personnel. I understand different coaching staffs. I get it. In 8 career starts against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Deshaun Watson is 7-1. He's thrown for 1,661 yards, 9 touchdowns to only 3 picks, and he has a QBR of in excess of 92. Don't put the cart in front of the horse. I agree that Cleveland, on the surface, it doesn't look great. But Deshaun Watson really plays well for whatever reason against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, he hasn't played Anthony Campanelli, and he hasn't played this Jaguar defense. But he's 7-1 lifetime. And the Jaguars have had some decent defenses over the years. Just keep that in mind. Amari Burney, former Florida Gator, was signed here 3 weeks ago after some injury issues in the Jaguar linebacking core. Gator fans, you'll remember Amari Burney. He intercepted Cam Rising. Remember Billy Napier's first game as head coach? Utah has the ball inside the Gator 10. A minute to go, driving in for the winning touchdown. Opening night of the Swamp. Amari Burney made the pick off of Cam Rising to give Florida the win. He's reunited with Ventrell Miller here in Gainesville. And for a guy that came in 3 weeks ago who didn't play football last year, he's done a decent job. He led the team in tackles on Friday. I know the coaching staff likes him. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to make the 53. But I think there's a darn good chance he ends up on the practice squad. And who knows what happens during the year. I think he's looked that good in the first 3 weeks of his Jaguar career. After practice today at the Miller Electric Center, I caught up with Amari Burney, and here is that conversation on Hacker After Dark. All right, Jaguars wrapping up day number 1, joint practice with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're down here at the Miller Electric Center with Jaguar linebacker Amari Burney. Amari, how'd it go out there today?
It went pretty good. I think defense was flying around. We was physical. We made some plays out there, and we just trying to do it again tomorrow.
A guy like you that's been in the league for a couple of years, what do you look to accomplish in joint practices like this? What's your main objective?
Just whoop the man in front of us. That's the main objective. Let the plays come to you, make some plays, and just have fun. I mean, it feels good to play against somebody else. You could basically take your anger out on another team instead of trying to hit your teammates. So joint practice is basically, we see a different jersey. We want to play fast. We want to play physical and show them our way style of playing.
You led the team in tackles on Friday, obviously arriving here a little late into camp, but obviously you acclimated pretty well. How has the process gone for you?
The process has been pretty good. Being at home last year, sitting around, not playing football, and then getting that call and them telling me to come in and play right away, I felt pretty good. First thing I did was just come in, try to get in football shape, because nothing can get you in football shape but football. Right. Get the plays down and just go out there and just play my game, and whatever happened, but just put my style of play on film.
When you said you sat out last year, obviously 2 years in the NFL, then you sat out last year. I mean, did you think it was over? Are you grateful for this opportunity?
Oh, no, I never thought it was over. Me and my pops was talking every week, just telling me, keep my head up. You're going to get the opportunity again. But when it comes, when opportunity comes, just accomplish what you want to accomplish. Leave it all on the field. I live with no regrets. So if last was my last year, I feel like I did everything I could. But I knew the opportunity was coming back. I just had to wait, be patient, and just be ready when my opportunity came.
You're reunited with Ventrell from your days of college at the University of Florida. What's that been like for you?
It's been pretty good. He been here 3 years, going on 4, so he was acclimated in the locker room. Just followed his lead, met some of the guys through him, having fun in the locker room and being around him, talking about the old days with a couple people were in there about they went to Tennessee, Georgia, joking with them. But just being in the locker room with Ventrell, being with him again and just watching him play and me being out there with him, it feels great.
Preseason game number 3 on Friday night against Tampa, these same Buccaneers. What do you hope to accomplish on Friday night?
Just play my game, do everything I can, leave it all on the field, leave it all on the film, and come out with a win. That's the biggest goal. We won the first one, lost the second one, but come out with a win. I played the Bucs last year with Tennessee. We ended up losing, but this year I wanted to be different.
I got to ask you, what do you think about John Summerall and your alma mater as they start things up in Gainesville in about a week and a half?
I feel like it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to try to catch a game. I think they play this weekend.
Next weekend.
Next weekend. So we got a couple off days, so I'll probably try to catch a game, get back to Gainesville, get acclimated with the new staff, get around the building. Because I was there with Mullen and Billy Napier. So this is a whole new staff, whole new defense, whole new offense. And I think we're going to do pretty good this year.
I mean, the fact that you're in Jacksonville, 90 minutes away from Gainesville, you're a Florida guy anyway. I mean, this has got to be a great feeling for you.
It is a great feeling. Back home, close to home. Family can come visit anytime they want. I can go home anytime I want. The weather's great. I'm not 5 hours away no more. Just being back in Florida, I mean, it's a great feeling.
The Billy Napier tenure left a lot to be desired. Your interception off of Cam Rising, still one of the great moments of the last couple of years. Best of luck, Amari. We'll be watching you on Friday night.
Thank you so much.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. You know, before I came in to the radio station today, it was all about parents' night with Little Hack at his school. Before that, in the rain, we had to stay inside, but there was all about Nerf guns, right? It was about playing tag. It was about playing tackle. And boy, my guy's getting strong. He's getting really strong. I got to be able to deal with that. And with Awaken 180 weight loss, I can play with my son now. 2 years ago, it's kind of iffy, man. I mean, I was tired. I was lethargic. Not anymore. Awaken 180 and that weight loss, they've given me my life back. Have you looked in the mirror? Is it time for you to do something? Well, I can't possibly recommend Awaken 180 weight loss enough. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 and do what I did. Get hooked up with Awaken 180 weight loss.
You trusted a medical professional with your care. When that trust is broken, the results can be devastating. Medical error can leave patients and families facing unanswered questions and lifelong challenges. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Ragatz helps you understand and protect your legal rights after medical negligence. No fees unless you recover damages. We're here to help. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Ragatz, offices Jacksonville.
I'm Rick Ballou. Something big is coming September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states, including right here in Florida. One app, every sport. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era. Remember the date, September 2nd. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state.
Custom shower doors, mirrors, railings, any specialty glass solutions. At Capital Glass and Shower Doors, they can also replace foggy or damaged glass. You don't have to change the whole window. Contact Capital Glass and Shower Doors, and they replace the glass at a fraction of the cost of replacing the entire window. You'll get a new look and a clear view without the hassle. Stop by their brand new showroom in St. Augustine, right off of 16 by the Outlet Mall, or visit capcoglass.com. CAPCO glass.com. Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Jolene, 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 Jolene.
Ugh.
Begging of you, please don't
That one hurt today. Let's let this play a little bit.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can.
We lost a great one today. Rest in peace to the great Dolly Parton.
With flaming locks of auburn hair, with
80 years old.
eyes of emerald green.
You know, as you get older in life, which is certainly better than the alternative, because if you're not getting older, we all know what happens. You lose people you looked up to, musicians, actors, actresses, celebrities. But man, it just seems like every couple of weeks now, it's something. I mean, we've just lost some really, really good folks over the last weeks and months. And then when the news about Dolly Parton today, that just adds to it. That one hurt, man. Now, again, 80 years, I think most of us would sign up for that. It's a great life. You think of everything that she accomplished. My goodness, man. She released her first album in, I believe, 1967. Think about that for a moment. 1967. She went into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1999. And she went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. And you want to know something about Dolly Parton? And I'm not trying to get on a high horse here. And we're going to get back to sports in 60 seconds. We got a lot of disagreements in our world, man. I mean, there is a lot of disagreements. You can't hardly put anything on social media, sports-related or otherwise, without 15 to 20 people instantly coming at you about this, that, and the other. You're wrong, blah, 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 blah. Name-calling ensues. It's just the cesspool that social media has turned into. It doesn't matter if you're right, left, whatever. Did you see this afternoon after it was announced that Dolly Parton died? I haven't read one bad thing about that woman. Regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, what side of this you believe in or that you believe in, again, all the disagreements in this world, yet everybody that I've seen over the last 5.5 hours, and there have been thousands of things just constantly going about Dolly Parton, have been all uber positive. That tells you the type of human being she was and the quality of human being she was. Truth be told, Jared, one of my guilty pleasures is Steel Magnolias. I love Dolly Parton, the singer, but I grew up on Steel Magnolias, man. You give me some Sally Field, some Dolly Parton, some Daryl Hannah, everybody else that was in that movie when Steel Magnolias is on, even to this day. And I'm supposed to be this tough, sports macho guy. I can get in touch with my sensitive side. I would probably say Steel Magnolias. I mean, I'd have to make a list, but it's not too far down. Probably top 30, top 40 movie for me. I'll tell you what my family thinks of Steel Magnolias. My aunt had 2 children. She named them Jackson and Shelby, which were 2 of the main characters in Steel Magnolias. And, of course, Dolly Parton was a big, big part of that movie. Just an incredible woman, an incredible human being. Rest in peace. Prayers to her family, her friends, her fans. That one stung earlier today. Lost a great one. Rest in peace, Dolly. And when she says, I will always love you in that song, no, Dolly, we will always love you. Dolly Parton dead today at the age of 80 years old. Not an easy transition, but we talk sports here on Hacker After Dark. It's what we do. We enjoy doing it, and we will continue doing it. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 talking Jaguar training camp coming up in a matter of moments. I did want to bring this up. Not that this should surprise anybody. It's just another person who doesn't believe in Jacksonville. But Bill Barnwell on ESPN, who I think does a pretty good job, Jared. I'm a fan of his. He tweets out, or I guess puts a story out today, top 5 teams on the come up. And with that, along with that, the 5 that will fall back to the pack. And inevitably, he has Jacksonville falling back to the pack. Now, I will say this about Barnwell's article. It does make you think a little bit. And part of what he says is you look at the winning streak at the end of last year, right? The 8-game winning streak to end the season. He brings up the backup quarterbacks the Jaguars faced in those 8 games. And look, I think Jacksonville was very, very good. I think they earned every one of those wins. I think they gave, obviously, Buffalo all they wanted. But it is worth pointing out, and I think Barnwell does a good job here, that they lost to Davis Mills. One of their wins came against Jacoby Brissett in overtime. Another one of their wins came against Brady Cook. And another one of their wins came against Phillip Rivers. He didn't even add the fact that the other Colts win came against Riley Leonard after Daniel Jones got hurt in the second quarter. So of those 8 wins in a row, Jacoby Brissett, Brady Cook, Phillip Rivers, Riley Leonard were 4 of those 8. I say that to say this, and it's just worth pointing out. Remember 2022 when the Jaguars were 4-8 and they went on to win 5 in a row to get into the playoffs? And we thought it was built, right, with Trevor and Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram. And then 2023 came and they kind of fell on their face. Do you remember the quarterbacks the Jaguars beat for those last 5 games in 2022? Well, it was a combination of Zach Wilson and the Geico caveman for the Jets. I forget the guy's name, but he had a beard and he just, I don't have any idea who he was. That was the Thursday night game. I believe they beat Davis Mills in 2022 for the Texans. They also played against Josh Dobbs in the AFC South Championship game to beat Tennessee. Now, they did beat Dak Prescott that year, and they did beat Justin Herbert in the playoffs. Just like last year, they did beat some notable quarterbacks, particularly Justin Herbert was one of the guys in that 8-game winning streak that Barnwell, I believe he left out. But it is interesting that of the 8 games they won to end the year, they beat Jacoby Brissett, Brady Cook, Phillip Rivers, Riley Leonard. Do I agree with everything Barnwell said? No. But most people that think Jacksonville is going to fall back to the pack just throw it out there aimlessly. They don't give you actual stuff to really think about. To Bill Barnwell's credit, he did give us stuff in this article to think about, so I will tip my cap to him for that. However, I do disagree with him because I think Jacksonville is going to repeat as AFC South champions. 904-641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts always welcome here on a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Let's talk training camp. Let's talk about the game on Friday night. And let's talk about the cuts that are coming this weekend. Jamal St. Cyr joins me next. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Feel the roar of the Jaguars. It's your last look at the roster before the final cuts. Preseason game number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Friday night at 7:30 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of all trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clear water irrigation
and drainage too.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Get closer to the swamp without leaving Duval.
I'm Kyle Markowitz. Get your chomp of swamp news several times a week on 1010XL.
Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go, Jenner!
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
If you're at home on the range, tee it up with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here. Game days are back in Duval, and Closets by Design is ready to make your home a championship space. That's right, Closets by Design does way more than custom closets. They can transform your man cave to wow your friends when they come over to watch the Teal and Black. Schedule a free in-home consultation or schedule a tour of their amazing showroom on Phillips Highway by calling 904-878-9393. Plus, get 40% off, an extra 15% off, and free installation. ClotsByDesign.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Summer air should feel fresh, not full of dust, allergens, and whatever Florida critter has been crawling around your ducts this year. Sounds gross, right? Well, it is. And your air ducts are the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, you're breathing that every day. That's where Zero Res comes in. Guys, just because you can't see in there doesn't mean you can avoid it. This month only, take $100 off air duct cleaning. That's cleaner air, better efficiency, and a fresher home guaranteed. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Hey, I'm Matt Lennon with AB Signs. If you own a business but your vehicle, your storefront, or job sites aren't promoting that name, who's getting your next customer? At AB Signs, we'll help your business stand out with custom vehicle graphics, signs, banners, and decals. Whether you're starting new or upgrading your image, we'll make sure your business gets noticed. Before you order from an online merchant, call local. Call Matt at AB Signs and let's put your business to work.
Get ready for PGA Tour champions to return to Hammock Beach Golf Resort and Spa for the 2026 Constellation Furyk and Friends, October 9th to 11th.
Hey everyone, this is Jim Furyk. Join us this fall for world-class golf, incredible food, live music, and an unforgettable weekend on the iconic Ocean Course.
Plus, don't miss country music star Billy Currington live at the Furyk Foundation concert on Friday, October 9th. For tickets and info, visit ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Find Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Hicken here. See clearly with the eye associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us, the Jaguars and the Buccaneers, to close out the preseason Friday night. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Of course, a busy week with Tampa and Jacksonville, as they will have a couple of joint practices as well at the Miller Electric Center. Let's close out training camp. Let's give our thoughts, some 53-man roster predictions, and things that have stuck out over the last month here in Jacksonville with my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, who's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jamal, how we doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Hacker. How you doing, man? Training camp about over now, man.
Yeah, look, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's no doubt. You know, you and I spoke 2 weeks ago before the Saints game, and we've seen 2 preseason games. The starters haven't played in either of them. We'll get to that in a moment. But anything, Jamal, in New Orleans or whatever that was on Friday against Carolina, anything stick out to you about the guys that played, the way the games went, anything along those lines?
Backup quarterback play is not great. Backup offensive line play, not great. There's a little bit of juice at the depth running back, maybe just enough where you feel okay if one of those guys really had to go in. I like what I've seen from the rookie wide receivers, Josh Cameron, CJ Williams. Defensively, I'm trying to think if there's a guy that's caught my attention on the defense. Not really. More negatives than anything else at this point, I guess.
You know, and to that point, you know, I can't remember a time in the preseason, and you've been around a long time here too, that a starter, literally one of the 22 starters, has not, or I guess Ventrell and Branson Combs did, but 95% of the starters won't take a snap in the preseason. Trevor Lawrence won't take a snap in a preseason game. What's your thought on what direction Liam Cohen has gone there?
Well, look, that's the changing of the guard in the NFL. There was a conversation, I forget which head coach it was, but he said at the NFL owners meetings when they met with the competition committee, they said a joint practice, they told the coaches that a joint practice was as good as a preseason game. And you see that with how coaches are treating them. These joint practices, they're treating those more like their preseason games. And we've talked to coaches for years. And I mean, I remember asking Liam Cohen last year before the Dolphins joint practice. He said, arguably it's more valuable because I know what situations I'm going to be able to get guys in. I can kind of script it to get guys the looks I want them to get. Whereas opposed to in the game, you have no idea sometimes how the game goes, right? So it's very different. And I think with the Jaguars having 3 joint practices, 1 for each week of the preseason, it didn't surprise me, and it doesn't surprise me that the starters aren't playing in these preseason games because you're getting the starters that work on the practice field in these controlled environments, in the situations that I want to see them in going against good competition, as opposed to throwing them out there in the game field where anything can really happen. So, yes, it's different than how the NFL viewed things 5 years ago, right? But I think that's how the NFL is going to start moving forward, where these joint practices to these coaches are more valuable than the preseason snaps that the guys could get on the game field. So the games are valuable to young players, to these rookies that haven't dressed before, to these guys that haven't played NFL snaps that need to get a little bit of stuff underneath their belt. A Caleb Ransaw, extremely valuable that he's able to get these preseason snaps after missing a lot of time a year ago. For guys like that, it's huge. But for your Trevors, for your Josh Hines-Allens, for your Trayvon Walkers, what's in it for them? I mean, realistically, you're not gaining a whole lot. The practice reps are a whole lot more valuable, and making sure that they're healthy and fresh going into the season, at least in my mind, is the most valuable thing of all.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 with us here on Hacker After Dark. Jaguars, Buccaneers, a couple of joint practices this week, and then the game Friday night that you will hear right here on 1010XL. Jamal, you mentioned the word healthy. The Jaguars a couple of weeks ago were anything but healthy, particularly on the offensive line. But Edoga back, Milam back, more importantly, Van Lanen back, right? They have gotten healthier on the offensive line. They add Daniel Fahalele as well. It does appear the offensive line is starting to take shape.
Yeah, look, I think we know who the starting 5 is for week 1. And I think we're kind of at that point, Hacker, where they've gotten there. And they felt good enough with Emmanuel Pregnon that they've bumped the rookie up into that 5. So that helps, right? And then that moves some of the guys that were depth pieces that you were trying to figure out if they needed to start, the Walker Littles, the Wyatt Milams, the Jonah Monheims back into their reserve roles, which then bolsters that reserve unit. So I think, yes, there were never major injuries. It was just a question of really Cole Van Lanen was the big one hanging out there, right? And even replacing Patrick McCarry. But at this point, you kind of know you're not going to see McCarry for a little while. So you getting Cole Van Lanen off the PUP list and then being able to say, well, at least there's light at the end of the tunnel with this guy, whether he's ready to go for week 1 or not. That is a good thing, and that's how that offensive line's really all going to start piecing together. So that was the biggest weakness at times when people would ask during training camp. I was like, man, the offensive line, who knows what that's going to look like? Well, now we know, and it doesn't look as dire as maybe it felt like it did a couple of weeks ago.
Parker Washington back, although now Jacoby Myers looks like he's going to miss a little bit of time with, I've heard thumb, I've heard wrist. It's something in the hand area. Brian Thomas Jr. has been the healthiest of those 3. I guess if you want to lump Travis Hunter in there as well. And then you mentioned Cameron and CJ Williams. Boy, I got to tell you, man, consensus boards be damned. I really like what I've seen out of Josh Cameron and C.J. Williams, along with some other rookies. Jalen Husky has made some nice plays as well. I mean, what's your overall thought on the wide receiving core and this rookie class?
It's a very deep wide receiver room. As long as Jacoby Myers isn't going to miss a crazy extended amount of time, I have zero problem with the rookies getting some reps. to kind of slide in there and replace what you get from Jacoby. Yeah, I'm with you. Look, I think CJ and Josh Cameron both have looked fantastic. And I think they play the game very differently, right? So how those guys are going to play this year, I don't know. I mean, do I think they'll get some reps here and there? And if a guy like Jacoby misses a little bit of time, they'll split it up and get some extra reps? Absolutely. But overall, this could be very close to a redshirt year for those guys, where they might not see a ton of game action or a ton of passes, but that shouldn't limit or temper the expectations for these guys in the future. They've shown enough that they're definitely NFL players and guys that I think are going to be ready to compete for roles here in the near to short future.
We've gone 7 minutes. I haven't asked you about Trevor Lawrence yet. Again, we haven't seen him in a game, but what's been your thought on his last 2 weeks of practice?
I mean, look, he's been up and down, but that's the nature of training camp, Hacker. There's going to be the highs and lows, and that's the thing, right? So he makes the throws where you go, man, he layered that thing in there. It's just right. And there are some where you say, oh, man, what was going on there? But it's the heat. It's the long practices. There's going to be those days. There's going to be those sorts of moments where it happens, right? But in the joint practice with the Panthers, they were surgical early on in practice. Trevor Lawrence had them buzzing in the red zone period. I mean, they were gutting that Panthers defense. They kind of tapered off toward the end of practice, where again you start saying, well, maybe it's the heat, maybe they were a little tired, whatever you want to kind of how you want to write it off. But they started off hot and were absolutely rolling. And now you get another chance to kind of show that and build that confidence going in. Look, I think Trevor is going to be just fine. I know some people have maybe been a little concerned or had questions. Look, I haven't seen enough like negative from Trevor over the course of camp that I'm waving any kind of red flag. Overall, if I was grading him, I'd probably give him something like a B- on what I've seen from training camp, which again, the offensive line for the most part has been in shambles or trying to figure its way out, which doesn't exactly help him operate.
Final moments, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, I want to ask big picture stuff, roster-wise, in a moment. The only real position battle, I guess, that's left is Combs v. Miller for linebacker, although I think the assumption is both guys are going to play. I guess if we're really debating on who gets the opening snap against Cleveland, there's still a conversation there. But both guys are going to play a role on this defense this year, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I'd say if you asked me who's going to get the opening snap, I'd probably bet Ventrell Miller. And I'd bet right now that he probably takes a few more snaps than Branson Combs. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they minimize that position a little bit in the defense at times. If you start looking at the way that they can use Antonio Johnson, I mean, his size, his ability to move, to give them some of those passing down linebacker snaps. They have a lot of really good defensive backs. Like Jarian Jones has had a really good camp, and he's a guy that they want to get on the football field. So how do you do that? You move him around and use him in some creative ways. So I think we're going to see some creative personnel groupings on this defense that at times might minimize how many linebackers are on the field. Honestly, Hacker.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned Antonio Johnson. That's a great point because you can move him around in all sorts of different ways because he is certainly a bigger than average safety, which I think you'd feel comfortable bringing him down in the box a little more than maybe some safeties around the National Football League. Jamal, that brings me to this weekend. They play on Friday night, and then they got to cut 37 guys. Now, a lot of those guys will be back on the practice squad early next week, but 37 people have to turn in their playbook this weekend. Any surprises with the cuts that you foresee, or is this going to be pretty easy? I mean, Amir Abdullah, I think there's a question there. Braswell versus Muhammad for that fifth corner. But I don't really see a lot of, real question marks with the final cuts on this roster.
The health of LaQuint Allen does make the running back room at least a little foggy, right? Because you start asking, all right, well, how quickly do they think he's going to be ready to go again? Do you were they planning on keeping 3? Were they planning on keeping 4? I think Jamari Taylor's definitely done enough to put his name at least into that conversation. But for the most part, I think this thing is going to be cut and dry. I really do. I don't expect any crazy fireworks or crazy cuts where you're like, oh my God, they cut that guy. I don't see it. I really don't. I think this is a roster this year where you might maybe have one undrafted free agent sneak on, maybe two if they can figure out a way to make the numbers work. But I'd say two is a long shot. If I set the line at 1.5, I'm taking the under on how many undrafted free agents make this roster, just because so many of the spots were already taken up. You have a massive draft class. It's going to be tough. It was always going to be tough for all of those guys to make the roster anyway. So you got some definitely some tough decisions for the coaching staff to make. But Hacker, if we sat here and went through it line by line right now, I'd feel pretty confident that we hit 50 of the 53 without even thinking very hard.
Yeah, I'm going to do it Thursday, the night before the game, and I'm just thinking about it. I mean, your Hunter Longs of the world, potentially your Chuma Edogas of the world. There might be a couple of names that don't make the 53. But I agree with you. I mean, this roster right now, it's going to be hard-pressed to think that anybody of real substance is not going to be on the 53-man roster.
Yeah, I think it's par for the course unless there's a late trade that slides in and sends a guy out. I think we have a pretty good idea of who's going to make this roster and who's not. It's just there's not a whole lot of those guys that were in jeopardy that haven't taken care of business, right? I mean, the guys that if you said, oh, going in, maybe this could be the surprise cut candidate, I think a lot of those guys showed up, had good enough camps that you're like, oh, yeah, they're going to be around. They might be starting or they kept the role and whatnot. So I just don't see anything crazy unless Gladstone gets to work in the phone. Somebody offers him a draft pick for a guy, and then that's not a cut, but that could shake the roster up a little bit, right?
Hey, Jamal, final question. We'll certainly have you back on the week of Cleveland in 2 weeks' time to preview opening day. But I'm just curious, your thought process when Cleveland announced Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. Now, again, we're not boots on the ground up there, but we did see on Saturday in that press conference, one of the more awkward press conferences you'll ever see. And I get Watson's frustration. I mean, that fan base up there did cheer when he ruptured his Achilles, which is pretty distasteful. But to go public with your thoughts on your fan base, and obviously Todd Monken in Cleveland knew that, and then to announce him the starter against Jacksonville for opening day less than 48 hours later, I mean, that's a circus up there right now, correct?
Yeah, look, it's out of control. And I mean, at the end of the day, you can't do that to a fan base, and the fan base shouldn't have booed him. But I mean, look, it is what it is. I always think back to stuff like that. There was a guy that I covered in high school, and he was being recruited by Nick Saban, and Nick had flown to his high school and stopped and signed autographs for every kid. And the guy said that Nick told him that to always remember that those are the guys that every one of those fans is the reason that you get to play this game at this level and on this platform. So that's why they were to remember always to make a little bit of time and treat the fans well, because without them, you don't get to play the game that you love. So there's definitely a give and take. And Deshaun's got to remember that look, the fans are a part of that, right? So I don't know, Hacker. That Browns team is in shambles right now. I don't want to say you got to beat the Browns week 1, but I mean, I don't even know how you stand there and say something if you lose to that Cleveland team in week 1, right? So, I mean, it's next to a must win because that Browns team just looks bad. They look bad.
No, there's no doubt. I agree with you. The one thing I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on, and I'm going to tell people this for the next 2.5 weeks, Deshaun Watson plays well against the Jaguars. All right, now, for whatever reason, Deshaun Watson plays well. I remember that second week in 2024, and Cleveland was terrible that year. But they came in here and beat Jacksonville for the home opener just 2 short years ago. So, Jaguar fans, just keep that in the back of your mind. I don't think it's a gimme because Watson, for some reason, always seems to find himself against Jacksonville. But that'll be more of a conversation for a couple of weeks from now. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, tell us about Teal the Show and the coverage you'll have at the joint practices this week.
Yeah, we'll have Teal the Show rolling on every Monday and Friday night. You can come hang out with us over on Channel 4 at 11:20. We'll have a little bit of fun there. And then, we'll be out there for joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so we'll have plenty of coverage of that rolling out all week long.
Hey, Jamal, I know you're busy. Thank you, as always, for the time. I'll see you out there tomorrow morning.
Appreciate you, Hacker.
This is
my crew. Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy.
Why does this sound so familiar?
They are XL Prime Time.
I knew it! I knew it!
Noon to 2 weekdays.
Come on, group hugs.
On 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
It's about to get real. Training camp is on. Listen to 1010XL throughout the day for all the details and analysis of the passes, runs, and defensive performances. 1010XL's coverage of training camp is brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to talk skin along with my friends at Beaches Dermatology, reminding you to wear your sunscreen. Football season is back, baby. And with that, days under that bright sun. So when you load up that truck for the game day tailgate, or the chairs for your kids' flag games, or even the boat heading downtown to watch our Jags, make sure you bring the screen. Sunscreen, that is. It's a must here in Duval. But if you have any concerns right now, give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Feel the spirit of the city. Proud to be Jacksonville Sports Radio, 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Tommy Mack here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fogged, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name for glass and mirror. It's Duval.
If you only knew what Oh No.
Tell me something I don't know.
Catch the man who knows Jacksonville football. John Osher. Weekdays on 1010XL. Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, what's bothering you, pal?
You know me, Jason. I'm a by-the-book kind of guy.
Oh, I know.
I drive the speed limit. I take my vitamins.
Sort your socks alphabetically by color.
Blue comes before brown, Jason. We aren't heathens.
But something's got you bothered.
It's not you, Jason, but there are some other companies in your business that have people pretty upset for doing things, you know, a little sketchy.
I know.
And when people get scammed, well, it looks bad on you, too.
So let me make things better for everyone. Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
If you're worried you called the wrong company and might be paying too much or getting work done you really don't need, call us for a free second opinion.
For free? Just to make people feel better?
Life can get pretty expensive sometimes. If you worry about spending money you don't really need to, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Try Angel Soft for your tushy. It's made by angels. Soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple. A roll that feels like paradise and always at a heavenly prize. Angel soft, soft and strong, so it's simple. Pick up a pack today. Angel Soft. Soft and strong, simple.
Frank Frangie here, and I got to tell you how proud I am of my daughter Amber and how much I appreciate the folks at Awaken 180. My daughter's lost close to 200 pounds. Now look, most people don't have 200 pounds to lose, and Amber wasn't really proud of that, but she worked so hard. She lost 12 pounds in her first 2 weeks, and that quick start matters. It says this is working, keep going. And it isn't only Amber. Matt Hayes and Greg and Hacker, folks around here, I know them. I watch them get fast early results too. Different goals, different amounts, same feeling. The scale moves, the doubt gets quieter, and you want to see what happens next. So why wait? Build momentum now. Before football season, fall schedules, and the holidays pile up. The next few months will get louder, not quieter. So whether your finish line is 25 pounds or 200, choose the program that has shown it can go the distance. Type Awaken 180 into your phone, click the call, and ask your questions. Then get the results everyone else has. You'll be awfully glad you did. Call today or sign up. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Jeff Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Is your lawn struggling this summer? Brown spots, insects, weeds, lawn disease. They can quickly take over when your lawn isn't getting the right care. Julington Creek Pest Control provides a complete lawn care program featuring premium granular fertilizer, not cheap liquid shortcuts, plus general pest and termite protection. Give your lawn the care it deserves. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And thank you to Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 for joining me tonight on Hacker After Dark. That Jamal St. Cyr interview is your cornerstone insulation conversation of the evening. Look, your air conditioner shouldn't have to work overtime in the Florida heat. That's why more homeowners and builders in Northeast Florida are calling my friends at Cornerstone Insulation for their spray foam insulation. In homes, crawl spaces, garages, and more, the bottom line is spray foam helps keep the heat out, the comfort in, and your energy bills under control. Comfort wins, efficiency wins, Cornerstone wins. Give my friends at Cornerstone Insulation a call. 904-540-4572. Jared, I got a frog in the throat, man. It's been a long, long day.
It has been an extremely long day for you. I mean, you listed off, you had the rain, so you had to be stuck inside. Then you had to go like do student day. I almost told
Parent
you.
day.
Parent day. That's what it was. I almost told you that one time my parents got pulled aside at parent day and were like, your son has organized a like semi-labor union for the second graders where they like huddle together whenever I try to assign them things and take a vote on whether or not they're going to do it.
Wow.
We're going to need that to stop.
Well, I'm just happy the only bad report I got about Little Hack, and it wasn't even a bad report, was that he's a talker. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I mean, that's literally what I do for a living. The kid sees what I do every day. He's going to talk a little bit. But the teacher was pretty cool about it. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek. Yesterday, down at the Miller Electric Center, I had the opportunity to catch up with defensive tackle Matt Dickerson, who's going to be a starter on this defense. He is going to be one of the starting interior defensive linemen. Really enjoyed the conversation. Here is that conversation with Jaguar D-tackle Matt Dickerson. Jaguars wrapping up a walkthrough at the Miller Electric Center, getting ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up. Joint practices tomorrow and Wednesday. We got Jaguar D lineman Matt Dickerson with us here on 1010XL. Matt, how'd it go out there today?
We went well. We had a solid walkthrough and just getting ready for Tampa tomorrow.
We're looking for moments out here at training camp. You had a moment yesterday with the interception. Just talk about that play. It certainly made a lot of noise among the fan base.
Oh, yeah, it was cool hearing the fans all cheer and everything, but they just recognized the screen, and luckily we had some teammates in the right positions, and it was good to celebrate with everybody and just kind of bring the juice in practice, and we look for plays like that just to build momentum.
Talking to Liam and Grant, maybe some tight end formations in your future?
Yeah, I love that. See, I'll do that wherever they want me.
You know, 5 teams for you in 7 years, 4 and 6 years before you got to Jacksonville. And then last year happened and you became a starter. And now this year, re-signing, obviously on the 53. What happened? Why did it work for you so well here in Jacksonville to this point?
I just feel like I've always been fighting for a spot, and I'm just thankful for this opportunity and trying to take advantage of this opportunity. I think that's gone into my edge personally and how I play, and just trying to take full advantage of this opportunity and be a guy that could be depended on and trusted for this defense.
What does it mean for a player when you get re-signed by an organization? Obviously, they liked you. They saw what you did last year, rewarding you with that. What does that mean to a player?
I'm just incredibly thankful. This is a great organization. I love these coaches here. I love the players here, and finding out that they wanted me back was great news, and it was exciting news, and I'm very thankful for it.
You mentioned the coaching staff, Anthony Campanile, back for year 2. What does that mean for you guys to have your DC back again this year?
He's unbelievable. The way he talks to us, his brains, his motivational speeches, everything about him. He just knows how to bring us together, and I'm just very thankful to have him as a coach, as a DC.
And a lot of players back from last year's team, kind of running back, particularly on the defense. I mean, outside of Devin and a handful of other guys, a lot of guys returning. That cohesiveness, do you feel that in the defensive room, all the guys that returned from last year?
Absolutely. I love our guys in our room. I love Ham, Josh, Trey, Eric. I love Albert and Rue, too. I mean, we got some really good guys, not just on the field, but off the field. And it's great to be bonded even more so, going through what we went through last year. And I definitely feel the connectivity between us. So it's great. I love these guys.
Final moments with Matt Dickerson. I want to get to Tampa in a moment. It's a tough week, though, in the NFL. Obviously, cuts are coming. A veteran like you that's been through that process, do the younger guys come to you? Do they talk about, this week and what to expect?
I mean, if anything, it's more about asking for help on technique, asking for help on how can we get better. And I always remind them, just take it day by day. You can't think about the cut day. You can't think about what happens after these games. And that's always been my approach. I don't think too far into the season. I really just take this day by day. And that's how I've always played and how I've always been here. Is just, today we got to walk through. Let's be the best in detail today. Tomorrow we got Tampa, and then let's come out and show our best and be at our best, and everything else will follow. So that's what I always tell them.
Final question. You mentioned Tampa. They are in town tomorrow, Wednesday, and then the game on Friday. What do you hope to accomplish in these couple of joint practices?
I think it's just a great opportunity to go against a team, an opponent, in a practice like environment where it's the physicality is upped, and it's a new look, and it's just a great opportunity to go against, show what our defense could do, going against a different type of offense. Well, I mean, it's pretty similar actually to Liam, but at the same time, it's just, we love these joint practices. I personally love them, and the atmosphere is unbelievable. It's really like a game, and I look forward to it.
Your interception was a great moment yesterday. Hopefully we get some more great moments tomorrow. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you, man.
Coherent thought.
Gala.
That's just me not being able to speak.
Is that okay?
The more you listen, the smarter you get.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
What rock and roll band is mentioned in the song Smoke on the Water? The answer coming right up.
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowner's policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The rock and roll band mentioned in Smoke on the Water? Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jags. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jags, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjags.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, clearly the golden moment was the joint practice. Jaguars, Bucs. I think the Jaguars won the joint practice. Don't take my word for it. Baker Mayfield, the Bucs starting quarterback, said they were more physical. If this would have been a game, we probably would not have won. I'm paraphrasing there, but that's basically what he said. And I think that speaks volumes. It was a great day for the Jaguar defense. I think the Jaguars overall have to feel pretty good about what they got accomplished. They're right back out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for joint practice #2 with Tampa Bay. The Florida Gators kick off their year a week from Saturday against Florida Atlantic. Aaron Philo is the starting quarterback. Let's talk about it with former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. He joins me next on a Tuesday night in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
The Kings of the Swamp. Ball's loose at the 38. Gators got it. Wow.
This is Gators head football coach John Sumrall. Join Sean Kelly and our broadcast crew as they bring you Gators football all season long.
On Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football, 1010XL.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Looking for more than just another electrical job? At Miller Electric, you work on some of the most exciting and complex projects in the Southeast alongside a team that invests in your success. For more than 98 years, we built a reputation for doing great work while taking care of our people with competitive pay, outstanding benefits, career development opportunities, and a culture built on respect. If you're ready to build something bigger, there's a place for you at Miller Electric. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Throw your rifle and rod in the truck every Saturday morning.
This could be really special.
Go hunting and fishing with Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show, Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's chessman, and, you may be surprised, newfound fan of American football.
Really? You?
Absolutely. Listen to this. Duval!
It's Duval, Chester. Duval.
That's what I said. Duval!
Ball.
Ball. Ball. The point is, Brendan, with football season approaching and friends dropping by your house to watch the games, there's no better time to spiff up your garage with a beautiful, durable, polymer-coated floor.
We can even do it in team colors for the real fans out there.
Oh, that is a good idea.
A garage floor your friends will love?
Check. In a color that makes you proud?
Check. Installed by locals who can actually pronounce Duval?
Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. College football gets underway, well, this weekend. There's about 15 or so games, including Florida State. They play home against New Mexico State Saturday night. Everybody gets underway next weekend, including the Florida Gators, as they host Florida Atlantic, and what will be the game number one for brand new head coach John Sumrall. And he has made his first big decision as he anoints Aaron Philo as the brand new quarterback there in Gainesville. Let's talk about the Florida Gators with a former Gator All-American. My friend Ben Troop is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ben, hope your summer went well, man. How are you?
Man, I'm always doing good, Ryan. I mean, what's better? We made it through the summer, man. College football is among us, man. It's always a pleasure to be on with you.
Yeah, there is no doubt. And Ben, I think most people expected Aaron Philo to ultimately win the job. I think Tramel Jones might have complicated it a little bit with his performance in the spring, but ultimately John Summerall and the staff go to Aaron Philo to start next week against Florida Atlantic. What was your reaction to that news?
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I appreciate that Tramel Jones did make it hard for them to make a decision, which is what you're supposed to do. But, I think Aaron comes up with Coach Faulkner. He was definitely going to be the guy in waiting had neither one of those guys left Georgia Tech, and he understands what Coach Faulkner is trying to do. Now, you got a plethora of options when you look at what we have at the running back position, what we got at the receiver position. But I think sometimes people are so quick to look at, you're not supposed to get your mood or you're not supposed to see like what the team is going to do based on what social media is or isn't going to say. Coach Summerall has been a guy that's won everywhere he's been. I don't think he come to these decisions lightly. I think he gave both Tramel and Aaron a chance to go out there. I know people are going to look at what transpired or didn't transpire in the spring game. That's not the true barometer. But I had a feeling he was going to go this way. And, hey, if you are Tramel Jones, look, you understand that people thought you was going to leave when Coach Summerall did become the head coach, but you stayed around. Football is about staying power, but it's always about sustainability. And I think a guy like Aaron, he gives you a chance to go out there and be consistent. We'll see what he does. I don't think Florida Atlantic is going to be the true barometer with Auburn 2 games after that. But I had a feeling it was going to be this way, Ryan. I just think, Florida – I guess Florida faithful we have grown to just be uptight and just question every decision made. If it would have been Tramel Jones, people would have had a similar reaction. But I think they went in the right direction. I think they made the right decision.
Ben, being in the state of Georgia, you obviously were probably more familiar with Aaron Philo than most Gator fans listening. He started 2 career games at Georgia Tech. Now, he broke a lot of Trevor Lawrence's passing records in high school there in the state of Georgia. A Cliff Notes version for Gator fans that might have seen, highlight films, and that's it. I mean, what kind of quarterback is Aaron Philo? What are they getting in him?
They're getting a guy that's very, very accurate with the football. I think too much is made now about these big arms. Oh, I don't need a guy that can throw a 60. I need a guy that can complete, 3rd and 6. I need a guy that can get the ball out on time. I need a guy that's not too big for the moment. And I also want a guy who has waited his time. When you did what Aaron Philo did in high school, and to still have to wait your time when you get to Georgia Tech, that says a lot about him, especially now, Ryan, when we got NFL players that can obviously come back to college, which is another story for another day. But Aaron Philo, in my opinion, he's a guy that's built for the moment. I think real similar to a Coach Summerall, guys want to prove it at a school like Florida. He could have stayed at Georgia Tech. I mean, he did not have to leave, but there was something about Coach Faulkner and his offense that he said, Coach, wherever you go, I'm going. And he came to Florida, took a piece, just like Graham Mertz. When he comes to Florida, people said the same thing. Oh, I think it's too big for him. I don't think he's going to be ready. I just think that Aaron Philo, you got to give him time just like anybody else, Ryan. But I think if you want a quarterback that's solid, if you want a quarterback who's a leader, you want a quarterback who's poised, and most importantly, you want a quarterback who's built for it, I think Aaron Philo, I think he checks every box.
Former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville as the Florida Gators kick off their 2026 college football season a week from Saturday, hosting Florida Atlantic. We talk about the talent around Aaron Philo, Jaden Ball, obviously the skill position players at wide receiver. Ben, the big question is the offensive line, to the point where John Summerall arrived on the job, 7 or 8 months ago, basically said as much, that they got to work on the strength of the offensive line. That was a concern. And to their credit, Summerall has said they have worked on it over the summer. He believes it is a stronger unit now than it was when he arrived. But how much is it a concern for you about the offensive line heading into the year?
Yeah, I am concerned because that's kind of been the standpoint, even going far back when Coach Billy Napier got hired. It's something about trying to get 5 guys that gel together. They don't lack talent. They got to play as one. And I think for this offensive line, I appreciate Coach Summerall coming in and stating the obvious, saying, look, we will go on the strength or the weakness of our offensive line. I'm not going to come in here and act like it's not a problem. Those guys are going to have to want to be the strength of this team, because you look at any good offense, a good team around the country, regardless if it's college, pro, high school, when you got a strong offensive line, which means your starting quarterback on week one is going to be your starting quarterback, the last week of the season. That means you got continuity. You got consistency. And I think for those guys, they got a bullseye on their back. They're not going to be able to run from it, but we will go as the offensive line go. And it's been like that since Florida has been around. But I think this year it's going to be even more scrutiny on those guys, because a big selling point when John Summerall was able to go to Georgia and get Jaden Ball to come back, a selling point was this offensive line. Yes, we're going to run the ball, but with his offensive line, it's going to be retooled, Ryan, but they're going to have to get real good. They're going to have to get real comfortable real quick.
Defensively, we spend so much time talking about Buster Faulkner and the offense. I heard great things about Brad White, the defensive coordinator they brought in from Kentucky. Now, John Summerall in his own right, Ben, is a defensive coordinator as well, or a defensive guy at heart anyway, the brand new head coach. But what do you make of the defense coming in? Obviously, your former teammate Ernest Graham, his son Miles is going to be a big, big part of that. Jaden Woods as well. What's your confidence level in the defense as the season approaches?
I think they might carry the team for the first half of the season, because you talking about a bunch that has high expectations. Coach White comes over from Kentucky, and the first thing he said, I want players like Brandon Spikes. Now that's a high bar when you talk about what Brandon Spikes meant when he was at Florida. But I'd rather you go out there and say what you want. You mentioned Jaden Woods, you mentioned Miles Graham, L.J. McCray. I mean, big time talent. I want to see what he's going to do coming off an injury. I want to see about McClain. I want to see what he does out there, at the cornerback position. But I want to see how this defense gels as a unit, because I think the thing about it is I was able to sit down with Jaden Woods, and he was just talking about how, he's being able to start as a freshman, which is extremely hard to do. He said when he came back to campus, the first person that meeted him and greeted him was Miles Graham, to say, look, man, I didn't understand how much you needed me last year because I was so focused on my job. I think this defense, I think they trying to be top 2, top 3 in the SEC, and you know what that means for the rest of the league. Around if they could put it together. But as excited as I am, for these receivers and all these weapons we got on offense, I think we just as deadly, if not deadlier, on the defensive side of the ball.
Couple more for former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. Ben, you and I talked about this a couple of months ago. To John Summerall's credit, it's been a really good offseason with the staff that he hired, the recruiting that's going on, the excitement back in the program, over 40,000 at the Orange and Blue game. I mean, it's been great. But as you know, better than most, because you lived it, being a Gator alum and an All-American at that, wins and losses are the only thing you're going to be measured on as the head football coach at the University of Florida. And when you take a look at the AP poll that just came out, and there are 9 SEC teams in the top 25, and Florida is not one of them, that is kind of the stark reality, right? It's been all sunshine and rainbows to this point, but it's certainly going to be an uphill battle for the Gators in 2026, trying to compete in what is probably still the best conference in college football.
100%. And Coach Summerall understands that. I mean, when I was blessed enough to have him on my podcast daily for a reason, he was like, man, look, I know people thinking, why is this head coach doing all these, media and the podcast? He said, because don't nobody know me. And it doesn't matter what I did at Tulane, right? It doesn't matter, what I did at Troy. Florida is a different beast. And I think the thing about Coach Summerall, he ain't running from the smoke. He ain't trying to duck it. He ain't trying to dodge it. He says, Ben, all I know is I won everywhere I've been. And I know winning at Florida supersedes everything else. And that's what you want. You want a guy that speaks his mind. He's gonna say it how he feel. He's gonna roll to the beat of his own drum. But Coach Summerall, I don't know if he knows Coach Nate, because a lot of these head coaches do know each other. He need to ask, hey man, what is Florida Gator Nation really like? What is it really like? Orange and Blue Nation is nuts when we win, and we are honest when we lose. And now I don't know what version he's gonna get, and I don't think he's gonna have the same availability that he had when he first got here. But just like I know, Ryan, when it comes to the state of Florida, when it comes to Central Florida, from Orlando back up to Jacksonville, you're going to feel the heat. And I'm thinking more about Mama Summerall than John Summerall. At least he got the confines of the University of Florida to kind of conceal himself. His wife and kids got to be out and about. But if he wins, which I think he will, and I'm talking about 7 or 8, maybe 9 wins, I got to win at least 7. maybe 8. That unthinkable is not. If they go 9-3 his first year, that's coach of the year type stuff. Because because teams like Ole Miss, teams like Texas, teams like Georgia, gonna be very, very difficult to beat. But I think he's got good a shot as any, and the guy does not lack confidence, and you're gonna need that and more to survive as the head coach of Florida.
Ben, as we begin to wrap up, you and I are on the same page. I have Florida at 8-4. Now, in years past, you say 8-4, and people would be upset by that. But my gracious, man, if you go from 4-8 to 8-4 with the schedule they're playing this year, I don't know how Gator fans couldn't be anything but ecstatic if that's the ultimate turnout.
If that's what happens, Ryan, I will say this: 8-4, because you look at what John Summerall. I don't know what type of energy was going on this year. That's me today, but all these coaches were a lot more animated. Talking a little more, saying a little more. I think that's who Coach Summerall is. He goes 8-4 year one. I mean, with a retooled, offensive line, with obviously Jaden Ball coming back, and a lot of guys still got some years left. If he can keep this team together, I think he got a shot to make some noise 2027 moving forward. But 8-4, and then depending on what 8-4 will not get you in the college football playoff. But what 8-4 will do, it will keep you in the college football playoff discussion. So you talk about Texas, you talk about Georgia, who's tops in the league. You talk about a team, like an Ole Miss that got their quarterback coming back, and Oklahoma's going to be really, really good. You find a way to go 8-4, and your losses are potentially Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas, and Georgia. It will not get you in, but you will be back into the national discussion, not because you Florida, but because of the product on the field.
Not only is he a former Florida Gator, he's also a former Tennessee Titan. Ben, what about the Titans? Couple of preseason games. Obviously, we're taking track of them here in Jacksonville, keeping up to date on all the AFC South. Not exactly a great preseason start for the offense. Concerned at all for Cam Ward and the fellas up in Nashville?
I am, and the reason why I am is because listen, I like the fact that we got Coach Eli, him being there, and I like the retool defense that we get. I think Carnell Tate is gonna be good, but I think what hurts the Titans more is less of what the Titans gonna do and more of what the division has done. They're not gonna beat Houston consistently. They're not gonna beat your Jaguars consistently. And you see if Daniel Jones can play the last half of the season, how he started the first half of the season and stay healthy, I got them finishing fourth, and I got them improving, in 2026, but that's not going to say much. My first year in the NFL was 2004. We went 4-12. My second year, we went 5-11. That's an improvement, but it's not much of an improvement. If Cam Ward cannot learn to sit and make plays in the pocket and just do the normal things to be superhuman or Superman when he has to be, him living outside the pocket trying to improvise, not only is that's not going to help him for 17 games, that's not going to bode well for an offense that I like Coach Brian DeBoer, but I don't know if his system fits with what, a guy like Cam Ward is trying to do.
Ben Troop, former All-American at the University of Florida. Ben, we'll certainly have you back on before the Auburn game, which is really when the Gator season is going to kick off, with all due respect to Florida Atlantic and Campbell. Those better not be much of games. If they are, there's going to be a lot of chatter already about this 2026 team. But tell the Gator fans here in Jacksonville quickly about 84 Reasons, your podcast, and some of the great guests you have coming up.
84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks. Just Reasons, 84 Reasons. Just all Florida Gator podcasts. As I mentioned, I got Jaden Woods coming up. I got the great Kevin Carter. He's going to be coming up. I'm going to have Mike Peterson and Coach Bam Hardman coming up. And Steve Harris and Cedric Faison, two guys I was blessed enough to play with my time with the Florida Gators. And listen, I might even get I see old Urban Meyers are making the rounds with him going into the Ring of Honor. So I might see if I can work some of my connections around, see if I can get old Urban Meyer. Never played for him, only met him one time, trying to see if he's willing to come on the podcast and talk about his days down in Gville.
It's a great podcast, Gator fans. Check it out, 84 Reasons, hosted by former Florida Gator All-American Ben Troop. Ben, know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll do it again soon, pal.
Ryan, anytime you need me, I'm there, man. Tell your Jaguars, man, to take it easy on my Titans this year, man. I will be watching those guys closer. And listen, I think, just like Liam Cohen said, when it comes to that dude, Travis Hunter, let him play as long as he can do it. I ain't never seen that type of energy. I want to see him on both sides of the ball. I think he's built for it.
And thank you to former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Ben's one of my favorites to talk Florida football with, as the Gators announce Aaron Philo as their starting quarterback. Again, they will get underway a week from Saturday. Two what I would call, for lack of better terminology, tune-up games right? Florida Atlantic and then Campbell. Should not be issues for both, for the Gators in both of those. Should not be. And then obviously week 3 at Auburn is just an enormous game for both that Auburn staff and the new Florida staff as well. But we'll see. Aaron Philo gets the call. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tramel Jones at some point in the first 2 games as well. But certainly the big news coming out of Gainesville as they are preparing for the 2026 college football season. So we certainly spent some time on that, but as you can imagine, a majority of our time tonight came about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the joint practice earlier today with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down at the Miller Electric Center. Both teams will be back at it tomorrow for what is essentially the final practice of training camp. The Jaguars will have a day off on Thursday, the game on Friday, and then the cuts have to come in by Sunday at 6 o'clock. The Jaguars, like every other team in the NFL, have to go from 90 down to 53. So it is a very, very busy week. I thought the Jaguars won the joint practice today, and don't take my word for it. Ask Baker Mayfield. The Tampa Bay quarterback basically said, look, they were more physical than us. They played with their hair on fire. And Baker even said if this would have been a game that counted, they being Tampa Bay, would not have come out on top. So obviously Tampa will look to even the score a little bit tomorrow, but a very good day, particularly for the Jaguar defense today versus the Buccaneers there in that joint practice session. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we do have a ton of people to thank. Again, Ben Troop, former All-American tight end at the University of Florida. Always appreciate Ben's time. Thank you to Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 for stopping by, talking Jaguars with us here this evening. And my Jaguar training camp one-on-ones with defensive tackle Matt Dickerson and linebacker Amari Burney, the former Florida Gator, has come in and made a nice impact. He actually led the Jaguars in tackles in Friday night's game against Carolina. Of course, Amari Burney, probably best known for that interception off of Cam Rising of the University of Utah in Billy Napier's first game ever as the Gator head coach. He's now reunited with Ventrell Miller, and it was cool catching up with Amari Burney after practice earlier today. Now, I'll be right back down there at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for the final joint practice session between the Buccaneers and the Jaguars. I'm scheduled to go one-on-one with cornerback Christian Braswell, and we will play that conversation for you on a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Jared Justice was your producer tonight. Jared, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Tuesday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night on a Wednesday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Get the goods on Gainesville 24/7. Search 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr.